All right. So, Sean, welcome. I'm so thankful that you're here joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. No, man, you're a legend. Absolute legend.
Thank you.
Um, I've been a fan of all your stuff, and I think that it's a great honor that you're here hanging out with us. I know you are one person who knows a lot about flat Earth. You put out great videos on it, and if you could just, you know, talk about some of that with us, and maybe
Yeah, for
people have
sure.
questions.
Yeah. I've been doing producing videos on the truth since 20 early 2016. I woke up to a lot of things before 2015. Flat Earth was 2015. Um, but before that, I always had that mindset. 9/11 was my JFK. For older people, um, that was my awakening started. And I think that for me, that's why that event happened. Um, it was it's a complete diversion and shift of consciousness at that point. It's either you're gonna because if anybody believes in the official narrative in any form of 9/11's official narrative, they were the ones wearing two masks. They were the ones. Are we on YouTube?
Not right now.
Will we be?
Um, I mean, we
I'm
could
making
be.
sure. I just always make sure that if it
I
was
know
like
they censor so hard.
if it was Rockfin, I could just say, okay, I'll bite my tongue either way. But the point I'm trying to make is like those are the type of people that um, emerge from 9/11, in my opinion, and they're not. It's it's very extremely hard to get them out of that funk of not trusting the government and not believing them anymore. It's a difficult task, but I feel like there's millions of people that are in the center. They're in the middle, and I feel like it's because this last couple years, what they have done to us in a very lazy way. It wasn't even a genius plan. I mean, I look at some of the operations they've done, so many psychological operations they've done. I'm like, that's fucking genius. I'm like, I can't believe, like, I get how they pulled this off. Like, this is crazy. But this last one, the one we're still currently kind of going in, it was the worst. This is terrible. And I don't know if they rushed it or whatever, or something interfered with their plan, but it's like everybody's waking up. So, um, I used to think a great reset was happening, and now I'm for sure that we're in the Great Awakening right now. And, um, there's going to be a huge shift coming soon. I feel like the people that have minds like us, critical thinkers, people that stop trusting and believing authority and mainstream media and even their teachers, it's those people, including myself, are eventually going to have to go back to nature at some point, whether that be a couple acres in a forest in East Texas. A lot of forest there. Watch out for Sasquatch, but still, like, there's a lot of land, or somewhere just off grid. Period. Doing your own thing, and I think they know that. I think they know that's coming, and this shift is going to happen where these giant metropolitan cities are going to be Chinafied and um, whatever, because those are the types of people that are going to allow it to happen. Um, and it's hard to wake those types of people up. They're robotic, brainwashed individuals, and no matter what you do or what you show or how many documents you show, it doesn't matter what you show. They're no, they're okay. Good. For me, it's like at this point, I don't want to waste my energy on them anymore because there's millions of people that are just confused in the middle. I
Right.
don't know. It's weird. It is weird that yeah, but I don't think they would lie about that. When I hear that, I'm like, you're ready. You're ready. I don't think they would lie. Perfect. Watch my work. Like you're ready. You're ready. And we need you. And I think those types of people are multiplying by the thousands every day. It's an effect, a ripple effect across the plane, and
Right.
I think we scared the shit out of them. They weren't expecting that, but I think it's their own fault. Someone definitely got their island taken away. Put it that way. Someone messed up in those meetings because this was the worst hoax I've ever seen in my life. And it's sad when I see
Absolutely.
double masked people still outside walking alone. It's sad, but those are the we landed on the moon people that you can't have a conversation with them about anything. they were used to the television in the beginning stages in the 50s, or the CIA programming them. They were used to those waves. They it was like heroin to them. They have to trust that. They've always trusted that fucking box. So you're not going to talk them out of it. The box has raised them. You're not going to talk them out of it. And it changed their life, you know? And I feel like people, the younger generation can be as dumb as them sometimes too, in terms of that thought mentality. But I do feel like with TikTok and Instagram, the younger generation now is getting it. They're getting it, and that's the most important one to me as a younger generation. There's two types of, if I had to label it, without, you know, let's not have someone take a clip of what I'm about to say and just repeat it. So listen to what I'm trying to say. If well, no, let me reword it. I forget. We might be on YouTube. If the people that are falling for all these lies and continue to defend their television set, there's only one thing that can happen, unfortunately, for them to change their mind, and that is some sort of, let's just say, uh, suddenly collapsing of some sort, where it's like they were in perfect health. What the heck just happened? Those are really the only instances that I've witnessing in reality, and not shut that shit off. In reality, those are the only instances of pure closed-minded double maskers. So we'll just call them. Those are the only time that they go, okay, you know what? Let me watch what you were talking about. Do you have some information? It's the only time. And unfortunately, that's also a ripple effect that keeps happening and happening and happening.
Right.
So even the ones that I thought, no need to even talk to them about any of this, it's a waste of my time and energy, it's like they're doing it themselves. So this shift, this consciousness shift is real, and
Oh,
I think we all feel it too. So
yo, well, I didn't mean to steal the thing, but
yeah,
you're on my vibe, man. I think you're on all of our vibes here. But that's exactly where you just said it right there, the consciousness shift, because a lot of people don't realize that everything is mind and that we're
yeah,
creating this together as a collective.
mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody's so quick to say, oh, I don't have this, just wait for the savior, wait for this person to come save us. The aliens will come, whoever's going to come, daddy government, whoever. And then that dismisses the accountability of each individual and how we have allowed this to develop into our reality. So I really
Yeah,
like everything that you're saying there when it comes down to us being accountable and taking back our power from the machine. I like to call it the beast system, like the antichrist system, because when Christ, you think of Christ, it's like an organic energy God, right? But this is anti everything, anti-normal. It's anything that's not an organic energy source would be an anti-energy source. So
sure,
I'm
yeah.
not
That's
like getting religious or weird, but I'll let
no,
you go ahead
no,
and
no.
keep on.
You can never get weird with. I don't follow any. I don't. I've never. No organized religions for me. So they're
Smart man.
that's all. That's all. It's nothing against anyone or anything that they think is because it's hey, you know what? As long as it makes you a better person than you would be without it, I'm for it. If it makes you a worse person, that'd be weird. But then like yeah, you should probably throw that shit out. But no, I don't. I mean, there is no religion. There's a creator, and um, you have to figure it out for yourself. After that, they give you access to explore this realm, figure out why you're here, what you're here for, and connect to the universe again, and trust the universe, trust everyone above you, and know that your consciousness and energy, if put in good use, of once you find out why you're here, if you put in that good energy, and that's all you do, that's all you just keep giving to the universe, keep giving to our creator, and say, what else do you want me to do while I'm here? Like, I'm here, right? Like, I'm not gonna be here forever. Like, this is just whoop whoop, a quick dip in, dip out. But I look at it from a perspective of like all my close friends, specifically in this monumental, I don't want to call it a movement, but uh, what's been going on since 2015 in this world, 2014, 2015. But this great awakening, technically, that's been happening. It's they can't stop it. I don't think that they thought that they could. I'm pretty sure you know, well, we'll do some bombings or something like that. That's not going to work. It's not going to work anyways. Um, for me, they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. These people that we call the elite, a bunch of bank nerds and reptilian looking old men that's calling the
Criminals.
shots. They're calling the shots, right? They're calling the shots. They got tie-ins with every organization. They own most corporations, if not all by now. So, but there's still not. It's not that many of them. It's like people have this vision. Why do you think Illuminati? All these things became such a marketing. I mean, everybody knew the word at some point. It's like, wait, everybody should have know that word if it was a secret word. They oh, show the Illuminati. I mean, they market themselves as these big bad wolves, and they're a bunch of nerds and losers. And they like to sleep with children, and it's like, think about the mentality of people like that. You know, first of all, just doesn't matter their status in life or if they run the world. Doesn't matter if you like to sleep with children and you like to drink vampire blood and you know you force banks in every country, and like those types of nerds, like they're a bunch of wimps and they're nerds, and they're scared of people like us because they know they're losing. They know this is coming to an end soon. I don't think that they know what's going to happen to them when their time comes. So they're trying to take it out on us. We're not fucking putting up with that shit anymore. You're not taking it. You could take it out on the ones with 3 masks on. That's fine. I already told my story about them. I'm done. I'm over that. There's nothing we can do. It sucks. They're you know, like the video game characters in video games that just walk back and forth. It's like
The Sims, yeah.
yeah, you could like walk up to them like, "What the fuck are you?" And they're just like, they're just like going. They're like, "Hey, do you have emotions? Like, do you think things
No.
in your mind? Do you know you have senses? Like, can we have a conversation? Like, Biden, vote. Like, it's like, okay, like, you know, you're not meant to be in my game. Like, this is my world. I live in my world. I don't live in anyone else's world. This is my world.
Yes.
No one else has anything above me. There's nothing. No one can have. There's no power over that. No one has power over me. Period. And if you think someone does, it's in your mind. It's your imagination. It's not. It's
Exactly.
not real.
Exactly. It's all fictitious and fraudulent authority. And these people have just been brainwashed to just surrender their power from birth over to the program. It's like all a belief system that was manufactured for them. And then it's like, hey, do you know that that's not really your belief? And that was just passed down to you, like pledging allegiance to a piece of cloth in a classroom. Like we're indoctrinating children to have patriotism so that then they can regurgitate the same kind of nonsense to their, you know, in their life. And it's just, you can't rationalize these people, but the main thing I think that you are speaking on is that they can't stop the awakening from happening because it's all vibration frequency.
Yep.
And like definitely, like while I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm getting goosebumps and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're on the same frequency. Because I don't know if you watch any of my stuff regularly or anything like that, but I am always on the same vibe
I
that
don't
you're
have
on right here.
time. I will. I
Yeah.
could. I don't just if
Well,
I
no.
there's just no time lately. The time's been crazy. It's been ridiculous. Like what just happened? 2 weeks went by? What? So it's just like I have no time for anything. I can't wait to have time to just do things like normal people do. Just watch some videos and relax, and one day soon. It's coming soon.
No,
But
well,
sorry, go ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
no, please. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like you have to, but
No,
that's
I
the
wanted
point.
to. I wanted
Is
to.
we don't have to have connection with each other and talk every day and watch each other's stuff because we are already frequency. Our
Yep.
frequency is already like connected, so we're already getting the same download from the
Oh
consciousness,
yeah,
like the iPad, right?
the universe loves these conversations because they're like, yes, okay, come on, keep that going. Ripple. How many more people are connecting? Ripple. Keep
Yes,
that vibe, keep that vibration going. You are in control of yourself. No one has power over you. The universe is protecting you at all times. You're the creator has created us um to live in peace and harmony. They pretended they got you at a young age that you're not supposed to live in peace and harmony. You're supposed to be a slave, and it's okay. Yeah, it's okay to say we're gonna teach you some false history along the way, so you feel bad for different races. Um, but along the way, we're gonna make sure that your version of a slave is just a successful college grad. That's
right.
they're just relabeling what they're doing to people, and then they create a false history to not only make you feel bad and divert people in between races that they've also created, we're all brown. We have different sorts of melanin in our skin.
Exactly.
That's as really as far as that goes. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to it. That's about it. Unless there's like blue people across the Antarctic wall or something like
Yeah, that they won't let us
Smurf
get to
skin.
because they put that treaty out. Yeah.
No, I always joke
That's
about that, but what if they were blue? I mean, just it's just
what
crazy. I
like
mean, hey, remember
Avatar
Smurfs?
people.
Smurfs. Like maybe that's based off of the truth out there. I don't know. I'm just saying. I was the first one to say it
Hey,
in case it is. they're
and
all
we
they're
get it if
blue,
we
blue
ever.
humans. Can you imagine?
I actually can imagine. I can imagine a lot of things,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Pretty cool.
I think that there's definitely something. Speaking of it, so let's okay. So some people are sold on the flat earth, some people are not. Me personally, with the people that I talk to regularly, I call them like my tribe of folk. I don't argue my point onto them because I get annoyed when people are dividing. It's like, okay, I don't care if you believe you're on a ball or if you believe we're in a plane or if you believe in aliens, or I don't care any of that. I just care that you and I know that there's a true enemy here and I'm not it and you're not it.
Now, now,
So
now, to the people that don't think we're on a stationary plane, who do you think the flat earthers are? Who do you think the enemies of the flat earther are? They're the ones you also already hate. You're excluding science for some reason. You so for instance, your audience can be like, well, we're against the official science of what's been going on in the last 3 years, right? Like they're completely awakened to that. Like we're against the official science. That narrative is obviously a hoax. Like what, this is crazy. But now we live on a ball. It's like it's the same people running the show. Do you think that they're going to be like, let's give them true science. Let's tell them where they live. Tell them that they can manifest and have power. Tell them that blah blah. No, that doesn't make any sense. You can't control a nation without controlling their mind of where they live and who they are. There's no way to do it. There's no other way to do it, because once people find out who they are and where they are, then automatically that disappears. Every sort of power you think, including taxes, I'm just saying, every sort of power you think they had against you or rule over you is gone. And by the way, if to the people that don't believe that they're in on this stuff, it's like they write the rules, they write the laws, right? They write the laws, right? So it's like, do you think that they would be trying their hardest to shove this in public schools in the 20s for no reason? Do you think that the teachers weren't saying, we don't want to teach this to our students? Of course that happened. There's newspaper articles about this for a reason. I mean, they're not going to be on a mainstream documentary, but they're always there to go look. I mean, they didn't want this crap being taught in school because it's crap. But Rockefeller had a different idea. He had a different plan, and he had a board of education started for a reason. So if you want free lunches and you want clean books and new lockers and you want all this shit and you want funding, well, then you gotta teach my book. You can't be teaching that we're not moving and the sun's right above your head. It's special. It's like, you can't teach that, because how can I get slaves out of this classroom now? If they're so special, then they don't need to do all the stuff that I have planned, my agenda. That it's a huge thing. Even with flat earthers, they think like, oh, this globe stuff's been going around for thousands of years, this debate. Like, I don't think that at all. Like, maybe I'm in my own little pond, but I think all this shit's new, all of it. I think Tartaria, they tried to hide that. They tried to burn that shit down. They don't want anybody knowing that we had free energy. We had a technology that is way better than anything you have today, including the internet. I'm sorry. Well, okay, maybe besides the internet, but every other piece of technology, they already had it and it was better. Not only that, but I think our rulers go to the outer lands, steal their technology, and bring it back, because there's evidence of that in books like Iron Republic and Worlds Beyond the Poles. Especially Iron Republic, they're talking about, regardless of what you believe, why would they be discussing flat screen TVs hung on the wall in an 1890 whatever book? Why would they be discussing electric cars? Why would they be discussing that they found an inland past Antarctica and they stumbled upon another island? They thought it was maybe another country that we know of, and it wasn't. They're like, dude, you're nowhere near your stuff over there. Like, you're all the way on the outside here. And it's a great story, and it's a first, eyewitness testimony, firsthand account. It's not a, fantasy book. It never was and never has been. No one wants to talk about that though. Why would they be talking about this stuff? Like, for what? False history is almost as important as knowing the Earth is stationary, because once you know they lied about pretty much everything, including like westerns and you know all, the whole movement, all there's everything before us is made up. It's literally fabricated, and all they do is propagate their stories with movies and shows. That there's no people think there's evidence of westerns and go draw boom, like people think like in their mind like, well, of
Right.
course there's that. That's like what I used to think. Of course there's evidence of outer space. Of course, why would I even look if there's evidence? We've taught that in school. It's all over movies. Like, of course there's that. But then when you actually look, like there is no evidence of outer space. They've never even taken a camera and did a 360 once. It's all staged. So it's like, oh, what about other stuff now? What other history? All the wars, they're all fabricated. It's all made. They're just someone told you what happened. That's all it was. Someone told you this is what happened. You taught the veterans from either side of either war, and they all got different stories than what we were taught. So it's like, wait, everything's like, yeah. How do you control a nation? You have a bunch of dumb slaves, and that's what they created. Unfortunately, they created that. Unfortunately, but I'm here to break that curse, and we're all here to break that curse because we're not our children and our future and the people we know. We're not going to be around it. We're not going to be talking like this brainwashed mainstream shit. Everything's changing with or without you. So
No, I absolutely believe it. And, I think it's largely to fracture the consciousness, because if your energy and your mind is confused and going all over the place, you can't focus your attention. It's like a laser, right?
yeah,
It's like we can't hone in, and if we're constantly giving our energy to all of their lies, we're just putting our personal life force energy towards manifesting their world. And this is the thing I talk about a lot. I'm like, call your personal power back to you and focus on the truth, and finding the truth. You start within, right? And then you go out. As within, so without. So you look here first, but everybody is taught the external program: external savior, external this, external that, external this. And then, I mean, you're dead on to everything that I believe. And I think a lot of us here are totally vibing with you right now. Looking at the chat, everybody's saying, I love his vibe. Uh, just really enjoying your demeanor. So I'll let you continue to just go. They see my big mug enough.
I don't know. I don't know what to go on. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think getting into the flat earth stuff. So
Yeah.
we're telling, you had a great point there, that the people in power have come up with this plan to deceive everybody. And which is what NASA truly means, is like to deceive. And there's so many different things that are people don't realize, like NASA funds the whole geoengineering program. So
Well, maybe
everybody's
your
like, well,
audience,
where's the money going?
maybe your audience doesn't know this fact. I'm sure if they did, they wouldn't celebrate that company anymore. That deceives everybody. Um, you know, the Nazi traitors. I'm going to say it again: traitors. The Nazi traitors. They came over and what was it? Operation Paperclip? No.
Paperclip.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Paperclip.
Where we brought the Nazi
Yeah.
scientists over here and gave them jobs.
They bring these traitors in. Eisenhower. I mean, it was, in my opinion, it was just like get the guys that are gonna, snitch and take our offer and be traitors, and that's just what it was. It wasn't like, hi, how are you? Like, no. It was like, probably we're gonna get all of you. You guys are all done, or you're gonna come on our side. And they're like, what's up? Do this, do that. You get the CIA, you get NASA. So these Nazi traitors came over and they started these organizations. And what people have to realize is that wasn't random. That didn't just, let's start a space agency. That wasn't random. That was because they found more land. You have to look at their actual timeline. Captain Cook tried to get in to Antarctica to explore it, and he went 60,000 miles around the Earth and couldn't get in by ship. He's like, this is like a 250-foot ice wall, ice shelves. We can't get in by our ship. Like, it took forever. I think, I don't even want to guess, a very long time. It's public knowledge, though. You can look it up. Captain Cook, 60,000 miles around, and couldn't get into Antarctica. Now, a lot of that statement alone goes over people's heads, unfortunately. Remember, I just said 60,000 miles around Antarctica. the little
Mm,
splooge
mm-hmm.
on the bottom
Yeah.
of a basketball. Well, that's what that can't be more than 12,000 miles of circumference, if that. At 60,000 miles. What is going on? Well, yeah, he was on the outside of the perimeter of our giant lake. Okay, all
Mm-hmm.
water's level. No one's gonna defeat that fact. No one ever has. No one ever will. You can't. All water's level, and it needs a container. Okay, take your bathtub away from your bath, and then we'll talk. You have to contain water. Doesn't matter how big. Well, if it's really a big amounts of water, then like the spherical, the sphere. Shut up, shut up. That doesn't. You can't prove that. You can't read. You can't prove that. And they wouldn't use fisheye lenses and trickeries and CGI if it was real. So scratch that. You can't. All water's level. A spirit level. What's in the center? It's trying. It's everything. It has to be level. So we have this level lake with all these continents. Just boom, there's the land. I don't know how people can't just. Oh yeah, I can imagine that. That's kind of feels like
Because
when I
it's
walk out. Kind of feels like when I walk outside. I get what you mean. Yeah, you're just sit. We're just in a level lake, but you know, if you're going on the outside perimeter of that giant bathtub, that giant container, that's a big trip. And so, yeah,
right.
Captain Cook, 60,000 miles, couldn't get in. Then they're like, hey, we got to get aircraft. And for me, this is after the reset. They didn't know what was going on. They were trying to burn down all the past evidence, all the stuff, all the
Mm-hmm.
technology. They're like, we can't, how can we control everybody if all this shit's free? Everything's free. We can't, we got to get rid of this stuff. And they had this giant game plan. It's been going on for over 100 years.
Yeah, it has.
They have this giant game plan. So, long story short, Admiral Byrd, um, he gets clearance to go over there. Of course, he's a Freemason, so he's
Mm-hmm.
he's got to be special enough to be the one to do it. And can he keep a secret? I don't know. I don't think he did. I think that
He
live
found
event.
resources.
I think that live event. It's just my opinion. I think that live event was not staged. I could see it in his eyes that he was serious and he knew he was going to shock the world, and of course they covered it up right away. No one ever heard that story again. You would think that someone went over into Antarctica and found more land, that they would be like, guys, there's more continents. Oh my god! And they're like, shh. So what happens was he comes back and says that they get rid of Admiral Byrd, or they faked his death. Whatever, I've heard that before. Okay, yeah, I get it. Or they just suicided him. 6 months later, they're like, dude, this guy farmed more land, and we can't have any of these peasants that we already started to start the controlling starting now. The televisions are just coming out. Like, we can't. This is the worst time for this, dude. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, it's
The
really
Antarctic
that's
Treaty.
yeah, the Antarctic Treaty.
There it
So
comes.
what
We
people
can get
have to
along for that. Yeah.
exactly what people have to
That's the
understand
one
is
thing we can all agree on is that we can't go that way.
we can't go that way and see what's over there. So people have to understand the actual real historical timeline. And they don't even cover this up. The dates are there. They just don't tell you this in this order, because then you're like, ding, what? So they find more. They couldn't get in Antarctica, 60,000 miles around. That should already go, what? And then they fly over. Then when they come back, they're like, yeah, there's more land over there. And then they start a treaty that says, hey, none of us can go there. None of them, me and you, it doesn't matter how much money you have, can't go there and explore. You can go to a little peninsula, a little tourist thing. That's it. That's all you can do. Doesn't matter who you are. But and then they start NASA. So again, NASA wasn't like random. It was like, okay, we got these guys a part of the deal. We'll just give this one to you. And I'm sure Warner Von Braun was like, oh, fuck, I got to do fake rocket stuff. God damn it. So, they probably weren't they probably wanted the CIA, or they probably wanted something else. So I'm sure they weren't. He never looked happy in interviews, Warren Von Braun, like damn, I'm forced here, but this is my job now. This is my life. There's rockets. It goes to the moon. Moon goes back. Rocket, moon. And that's it. It's like this guy, there's no education. There's no intelligence to him. He's just thrown in a chair. You're starting NASA. Talk to people. We're going to send monkeys up first. Get them kind of, monkeys. Is there any footage? No, but they said they came back safe. Whoa, they would never lie. I Love Lucy's on. Like, they have no idea what's going on. Anything's like breaking news. They're like, they got an erection. Like, breaking news. Oh my God. And they got them. They got everybody. And then that's taught to us. It's taught to them. It's taught to us. It keeps getting passed down. We're stopping it now. And there's people in our way, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that there's people. Well, it's not flat though. Like, I see what you're stand for, but like, you do a lot of other good work, Hilbert. But like, it's not flat, so like you should probably just like stop doing it. No, that's number one. You don't want to say what those types of people are, but it's like once you understand where you are and where you live and who you are, you take all your control back, all your power back. You're free, and you start to you can manifest, because those lights in the sky aren't trillions and trillions and trillions of light years away. Why do you think they put the universe, what what we actually connect to, as fucking antennas? Why do they push it away trillions of miles and light years away? So you short circuit that statement and go, oh, well, that doesn't mean shit. I'm gonna just focus on me, 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 me. That don't, none of that's real. Actually, that's, they go there sometimes with CGI, graphics, and it looks really cool, and like, 3D balls spinning, and like, wow, it's so cool. I want to live there one day. Like that's all people really care. Like there's no connection to what you need to connect to. So yeah, we're gonna have people walking their dog alone with a mask on. It's we are. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. They have no purpose in their own world. Like they don't even have their own world where they think they're in control. You know, it sucks, because if they only knew they were, then everything we fight for, including helping our children get off these islands, and who knows where else they take them, but everything we fight for would be over. It'd be gone if people knew that the Earth was not a ball, and that there's more continents, and they've lied about it all. They lied about our history. They lied about the Western. They lied about free energy. Tesla, to me, is a bullshit excuse for someone almost gave you free energy, but this guy, he moved them out of the way, and we're like, oh, we almost had it. Like, no, it's been here forever. You like research stuff. Please send me a video link of Tesla speaking about
We are energy.
No, I'm saying though, but for somebody, please send me a video link or audio link of Tesla speaking, because around that time, all of his competitors were speaking. I can hear their voices. I can hear many, many other greats of the past voices from before then. Where's Tesla? I have no idea. I'm not saying he's made up. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on anymore. I feel like they could just create a character, paint a picture of them. It's only one version usually of these guys, and you're just like a painting. It's like, yeah, oh, that guy, he said, yeah, sticks and shadow guy. That guy is Aristosthenes. Like, that's the guy. Like, what about him? Like, who's that? You're pointing to a drawing. That's all you're doing. Someone drew that and said he said this, and you're telling me that's evidence? I'm a different type of person. So
Yeah, calling bullshit on that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and by the way, if anyone has questions, I'd love to do those.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead and raise your hand.
I'll just rant. So just
I love it.
Questions are better structured, because sometimes I don't even know where I'm going.
No, I love ranting. I do it all the time, actually. One of my favorite pastimes is to just get on and I go in, and you're a lot nicer than me. I actually, I go pretty hard on people sometimes, but I think that's kind of part of what I'm here to do, is to trigger people into thought.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to trigger you because they get emotional, and then there's that trigger, and then they're going to think about it. Well, how did that make me feel this way? And it's like, then you're using your brain. Oh shit, mission accomplished. Gotcha.
Well, that's the thing, because believing something is so easy. It takes no effort. Like, I can tell you right now, I'm going to steal this one from my buddy Dave, but I can tell you right now that I live in California, and you could believe me. You could choose to believe that. You'd be like, well, why would he lie about where he lives? That's dumb. No one would do that. I live in California. And then you just believe it, and you go on the rest of your life. Someone's like, do you know where he lives, that guy? It's like, yeah, Cali. But do you know that? Do you know I live in Cali? No. But what would it take? What would it take? It would take some research. Maybe see, whatever, research my name, look at this, like addresses, whatever. If someone really wanted to know if I live in Cali, my friends, are they out here? That you could prove it to yourself in many ways, and have evidence for yourself that at least at some point he did. So he still probably 99.9 is my point. But it's just the fact that anyone could say anything about anything, and you get to choose to believe it or not. The difference with me is I don't believe shit. So what I do is, when I hear something when I'm told something that, especially something like big or like monumental, like what do you wait? Who said that? CNN, Fox, or okay. Right away, I'm like, well, that probably didn't happen. But let me see what happened. Let me see if I don't know anything, and that's why I stay away from the news. Someone will tell me the news. Tell them I'm okay. Wait, shut up. Okay, good. I don't want to hear because I don't want to know their official anything. I want to be the journalist now. What's going on? Who's this guy? And I swear, I could show people this stuff. 9 times out of 10, they're all crisis actors. They're all on IMDb. Every single person involved in that event of some shooting or something, it's always actors involved, being interviewed about my kid, or it's like I swear it blows my mind, and I'm like, it's hard research and it's difficult to get through the algorithms recently, especially, and they make it way harder than it was in 2015 to find real concrete evidence of anything you wanted. You can find the truth. Now it's very hard. They make it tons of obstacles, but I know how to, I know how to play the game. Like I know what they're doing. I know how to find what I need to fucking find. So, and I'm like, that's bullshit. And here's why, and here's why, and here's why. I can show it to 100 million people. 1, 2, 3% would retain it and go, okay, wow, it's bullshit. It's too big of a lie. So yeah, I mean, even like a false flag shooting event on TV, it's too big of a lie. And it's like, how am I supposed to tell you the Earth's not a ball? I can't well, that's ridiculous. And that's like, I can't have this conversation with people. And it sucks. It's like, what do you need to do? Like, so I try to plant seeds like, building 7, just explain building 7 going down. And then they go, what's that? I go, see, well, why are we talking to you? Like, you don't even, do you know that there's like 7 buildings that fell on 9/11? Well, come on. No, it's public information. What do you mean? I mean, building 7 went down like they detonated it. Like you see it just like, yeah, it's a time yet. Oh, one more. Okay, come down. I said, and then BBC said Tower 7 fell and it's still standing behind her. And it's like, they're off script and it was too early. There's so many things you could show someone like this actually happened. And they still go, well, yeah, maybe like, fires like connected and then like it like, and they're just, well, yeah, that makes sense because like structural fires and then like, well, yeah, it's not on fire though. And now I'm thinking direct energy weapons has something to do with it because there's different angles coming out of building 7 and you see this smoke swirl starting out of nowhere, just going around the one side of building 7, some like weird hurricane tornado effect thing going. And then all of a sudden it's just like, boom, it just comes down. And it's like, well, that came from my perspective, it came from up there. I don't know. Same thing with the California fires. Something as small as that. It's like, oh, there's wildfires. Like, oh, it's natural. You think I can explain to anyone that even lives there that'd be like, this is them doing it to here. This is them doing it. This is like China. We owe you a lot of money, but like, you guys can get that part of Cali for now. We'll burn that down. You guys come in. As you see, I'm not racist. I'm just sharing facts. You drive around the area, there's a lot of Asians out there. Like, where'd you guys come from? That I've never seen that in that area before. Not that that's a problem whatsoever, but it's like, whoa, like every wildfire, just pay attention. It's crazy. It's crazy how much they can just do whatever they want, blame it on whoever they want, and everybody's like, okay. And that's it. My point of that whole thing was there's nobody wants to take the time to research anything. They just want to believe what they were told, and that's it. Don't believe me. That's the stupidest thing. That'd be hypocritical if I want you to believe anything I said. What I'd rather have you do, and I actually mean this, is look up everything I have said to you. And then when you go, oh, yeah, there is a treaty. Oh, wait, yeah, we can't explore past the 60th parallel. Oh, wait, self-truth is the best. So if you could do it yourself. Now, yeah, I make films and do stuff because I do the work for you. That's what I'm good at. But it's still better to pause my film and go, let me pause that. Let me see that for real. That's an official NASA video. Come on, find the real one. And then they find the real one. It's the same CGI glitch or green screen glitch. And they're like, huh. Now that is more powerful than seeing my film and going, huh, and then doing nothing else. Go look this stuff up yourself. And research is key because again, believing is the easiest thing you can do in life. You just, yeah, I believe you. I don't like believing. It's kind of a problem I have. Like I don't believe anyone or anything. I just don't. I only trust myself and what I know. Speculation's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I think it helps. Um, but verifying it with facts. If like me, I speculate a lot, and there's more continents because that is speculation. Have I been there? No. So I always admit that's speculation. But because of the
Some
facts surrounding it, you got to be a fool to not want to talk about the speculation at that point. It's not an empty speculation. It's not a random I'm going to just speculate about this like here's my thoughts. Like no. It's not thoughts. It's red flags surrounding what I can't go verify. And why can't I go verify it? I mean, it's like it just keeps going keeps going back into the whole circle of I mean, is it really speculation anymore? What else are they hiding over there? What that doesn't like what else? Sorry, for me, there's not a dome where you can like write your name on the wall. And like there's people with guns like, yeah, people are gonna come over here and then like write their name on the wall. That's not my belief, at least. Okay. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it couldn't go on forever, but I'm not gonna act like it could, I don't know. Everybody that grew up was okay with the infinite bullshit space above your head. You just okay, yeah, it's infinite, goes forever. Like cool, like love that. Yeah, I love it. Like people love that, but it's like no, it's actually infinitely just a plane. Like it's just the land you're on. Just there's land forever. It's just forever. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. I'm like, well, that's actually scientifically possible though. It's scientifically possible. Like again, I don't know if it goes forever. It's a speculation. It could stop at some point. But for me, because I know there's different flat Earth believers out there, I don't think that we're under a glass dome. I just and people send me like, oh, in the encyclopedia once there was like a thing. I'm like, yeah, it's a government book. Like, what are you doing to yourself? What do you like, don't share a government source with me and tell me that it's real. Like, I don't know. But again, I always leave it open because I know I don't know, right? I know I don't know. So even with the dome where you can write your name on the wall, I still leave that open a little because how would I know that? Either way is my point. I'm just the heavy research I've done. Our firmament is an ocean above our fucking head. That's it. It's dense water. Nothing can penetrate it. SpaceX does jet ski waves right above your fucking head. Right above your fucking head. SpaceX will be like, they're going real high. They're actually going high. Usually NASA doesn't go that high. They're bitches. They stay where a little bit above where an airplane would go. And people are like, they're going to space. Like they're right there in the sky. I could see them. I could see them. That means they're 12 miles up, 20 at the most. You think they're 200 miles away, like going to space? What are you talking about? But, it's like SpaceX will now, they're showing off now. I hate them more than NASA, I swear, sometimes. They go up as high as possible. They know exactly when to turn and level out. They don't just keep going up. We all know what happens. We all saw the all those rockets amateur rockets that went up with cameras, and it stops at 73 miles every fucking time. Boom.
Yep, you hear
Boom.
the
It
smack.
stops.
Yeah.
It's what it's fucking water. I don't
Yep.
care. It's like I'm 99%
No.
on that. I'm 99% on that because I can't go up there and touch the actual ocean above my fucking head. But everything points to it. Even science and nature and clouds and rain, everything makes sense to me. The crack in it, it open at some point, whatever. All that stuff can coincide with what I'm trying to say. But I feel like it's 73 miles above us. That's it. Point period blank. All these tests have shown 73 miles. And I think SpaceX knows that, and they know that there's technology where their thing goes up. They know it's exactly 70 miles, and they level out, and then they have a machine on top that goes up. Sometimes it looks like you could see it, but again, it's more like I know that's what it's like. You could just see that's what they're doing, and they're literally jet skiing on the ocean above your head. And people think it's like some smoke effect, some like weird tail thing. No, look at I have some. I'm too far from my mouse to share the screen, but you could see helicopter, or whatever, looking down on a jet ski at the ocean. Okay, like, everybody can fathom that in their head. Everybody can pretend you're in a helicopter and look out in the ocean and see a jet ski going fast as shit.
Right.
That big tail of water and the waves and everything. It's
Exactly. The wake. The
exactly.
wake.
There you go. It's exactly the same. Okay, it's a little bit bigger at times because I don't even know what kind of water that is. I'm sure it's impenetrable. We can't get through it, just like we can't get through the ocean below. which they tried. That submarine on, I forget, was it that dude? They suicided him when he outed that. I'm sure you know this. There's a guy, Discovery Channel or one of those biography, one of those like A&E documentaries, submarines type of vibe, right? Mainstream, all over the place. I'm sure you can't find it now, but it was out and about. It's no big deal. They didn't know that the rulers would be like, "Hey, cut that shit. Who's that? Get him out." He said they went in the submarine. They went to the lowest point of the ocean possible that they could possibly go. And like, we can go as low as possible. Then let's go all the way to the bottom. Oh shit, let's do it. They go all the way to the bottom. They see another body of water
Ocean. Yeah.
underneath
Yeah.
that. They're like,
Yeah.
wait, how can I, like, where you looks like you can like dive in a big ass pool. They're like, how can I dive in a big lake when I'm in the ocean? So they're
Right.
like, dude, let's try to penetrate. What is this? And they go in and it bounces off. It keeps bouncing. The submarine itself is bouncing off. Can't get through. Can't get through here. Can't get through there. You can't get through.
Right.
And they knew that. They sent up missiles, Operation Dominic. Look up Operation Dominic for the deniers. Or, oh, this guy. Why they explain Operation Dominic? Why send up missiles? I mean, like bomb, like boom missile, huge missiles, straight up in the air. And this is right around the tree.
Get through
Right around
the
the
treaty time. Yeah.
right around all that. They're like, dude,
Operation
can't get
Fishbowl,
out of
Operation-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're boom, 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 boom. They're blowing them up, and it's just it's so quick. It goes up. Now imagine 73 miles, and it you see it. It hits something, and it goes across. It just goes across. What do you think would it look like if it hit an ocean above? Just pretend that in your mind. Pretend it's a cartoon, and I'm stupid. And you send a missile and it explodes up against a water above your head. What is it going to do? What's it going to look like, And that's exactly what it looks like. What you think it probably would look like is what happens. And so everything is strategized. They're like, we can't get out of here, so we can't really do anything. Well, we got to fake, and we got to fake everything. We can't tell
got to
them
control these people. Yeah.
yeah, we can't tell them that
They
Walt
can't learn
Disney
the
the last 15 years of programming you of space before they even step foot up there. Actually, no, 1920. So again, with Rockefeller started the
yeah.
Board of Education in 1920. George Lemaitre in 1920 said that we came from a Big Bang. He's a Catholic priest. Same year, 1920. And then again, they get all the space propaganda ready to go. They bring in the best of the best. Walt Disney, come in, whatever, boom, get your stuff, animation, tell everybody we're going to space and going to the moon, and just make cartoons and adult documentaries for the next 15 years. And then we'll go to the moon. And somehow they pulled it off. And it
With a
got
great director, anything's possible. You
Yeah.
know that. Sometimes I look at your videos, I'm like, you know what? I bet this guy could do some CGI better than NASA could. Or I watch movies and I think, God, they do better graphics of space than NASA does. And NASA has this huge budget, but we know that their money is really being spent on the geoengineering and weather modification to control us. And everybody's like, well, what are they spending all the money on if they're not making rockets and going into space?
Also war. They spend money on. They spend money on well, they own all the helium, right? There's a reason they take all the helium, because they don't want you to know that you can basically use helium for I'm not going to say it on the air, but I mean, I've heard stories of when people have. But put it this way, helium has a lot of use, and they know that. So that's why NASA took it all. Plus, they have so many satelloons up there. There's ridiculous amounts of satelloons up there. Why do they admit they use satelloons? It's not like it's a secret. Even Google admits it. They have Google Loon project. They admit it. They just act like it's new. Like, oh, it's our new technology. Like, no, you've also admitted in 1955 that you had that technology and you were using it for weather and data and satellite imagery. But they called them satellites. So they never, until Arthur C. Clarke came and made that sci-fi book and said these are called satellites, and they just magically orbit. And they're like, hey, let's use that one. We like that one. We like that one. Yeah, let's say we're doing that. Now, before I take any questions, I just want to tell your audience one thing. The ones that think that they live on a ball, just do me a favor right now. It's very simple. Take your phone and Google search satellites from space. That's it. Not conspiracy.com/satellites. No, I'm talking about Google, your best friend, I'm sure. Google. Look up satellites from space and hit the images button and scroll around. Okay. And that's it. Literally, when I say that's it, that's it. That's all you need to do. I tell people all the time, that's all you need to do. And then your journey will begin. Because once you realize, and you will, doesn't matter who you are, you will realize that they're all cartoons, they're all fake. None of that's, you're like, okay, that's not real. I know people that hate the flat earth and they're like, to my face, they're like, all right, well, that's obviously not real. I mean, I'm on page 14 here, guy. Okay. It's a satellite in space. Even the fake satellite images that you will find, where's all the other satellites? I thought there was like 100 million bajillion floating the ball at all
Just
times.
everywhere. Yeah.
There's zero other ones anywhere. It's just like this high def, like it's like again, and I would say the same thing with Googling Earth from space. You pick your favorite because none of them are real, none of them are the same, none of them are even similar because they're all designed. When you
It's
design
pear
something
shaped.
from scratch, when you create something from Photoshop and just make something, you're never gonna. I mean, they can clone. They do a lot, but you're never going to get exactly the same. The land masses are always going to look different. The clouds, they do use the same cloud structures on a lot of their images that they create. They just take like use 1986s. We'll put that on there. They don't fucking care. They're not even trying that hard anymore because they know it takes a lot for someone to give up their ball because you were handed a ball at 4 years old. Actually, I had to go back maybe 2 years old with the solar system in your crib or 1 years old. They got they'll do anything to make sure that you're ready for that bullshit. And how are you going to let go of that? That's all you know. That's it's like I have my ball. Like, don't take my ball. No one, like, when someone told you Santa was fake, you probably flipped out. And yeah, you're flipping out now. I get it. You're flipping out now, but it's time to put the ball away and grow up for sure. But I'll take questions before I run out of here.
I love it. All right, guys. Anybody with questions can raise their hand, and I'll go ahead and let you guys ask him directly. I know that Brian had commented here about the sky ice. But speaking real quick from my own personal thing, if people were
Sure.
just sharp enough to zoom into a star, you can see that it looks like it's in water.
Yeah, it
And the
looks like
same
you're
way with
looking
the
down at a pool.
planets.
Look, it looks like you're looking
Yeah.
down into a giant pool from a helicopter, and they have LED lights in their pool. That's all. That's all it looks like. You see the little waves, like it's water. It's fucking
Hmm.
water. It's just
Same thing
water
with
up
the
there.
planets. Yeah.
Sorry,
Zooming into
it's
the
more
planets.
boring to you, but it's just water. It's just water above your head. That's why the sky is blue. I don't know what they actually told you when you were little, but that's why. It's just water. That's it. It's
Yeah.
basic. It's basic knowledge. It's powerful knowledge, but it's basic. It's really basic. I think it's more beautiful than a heliocentric made up system because it's obtainable. It's right there. They're all right there. They're all right fucking there.
What is your stance on the simulation theory? That we're just like in some kind of a simulation. Um,
Eh, no, I think
and it's,
I can't get on board with that. I feel like the afterlife is too sacred. The afterlife is too genuine and real for this to be like some video game experiment. And then when you're terminated in a game, it's like for me that goes back to atheism in a sense, like uh, of ignorance, atheism, ignorance, same thing. But it goes back to that because I've seen a few try to spin it differently, but maybe you can if that's what you feel. But I feel like that goes right back to like you're a roach and you get stepped on and that's it. Like you're in a video game and in a video game, um, or the other theory I thought of is, or I'm not me, but they told me was with that is you get another chance. Like it's you constantly keep coming back into this realm over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm only on board with that second part a little because I do feel like we are in a Mario game in a sense in my mind where most of the world's stuck on level 2. They can't get past it. Everybody has an aunt or someone they could think of that you can hand them Mario Brothers, the original, and they can't get past the first level. You just jump over a few times, Auntie, and then she falls every time. And she can practice, and I'll never get. I don't understand. And it's like some people are on level 1, 2, 3, and like some of us are on level 50, 60, 70. And that's it. And I think once you get to a certain level of vibration and understanding of who you are and you preserve your energy and you stay alive in this avatar for a very long time, I think that the universe wants your spirit at that point. Wouldn't you want your spirit at that point? Like you're ready to come and join them. But if you're at a low vibration at all times and you speak lies and you believe lies and you defend lies, it's again, if you were the creator or if you were the universe in general, Would you want you? No. So maybe, yeah, they're like, dude, you gotta try this again. Like, fuck, like this is your 20th time. Like, who knows? Who knows? Again, I'm open to that in a sense, but it still ties into this is all created, and we're
Yeah.
special, not we're some random video game. No.
Yeah. I'm more on like what your vibe is right there. Like, with the vibrational thing, I almost feel like that could be part of the agenda, is because we all are organic source. And if we do level up to a point of consciousness, then we don't have to stay here. We vibrate at a high enough frequency that don't have to be in this lower dense realm anymore. And I feel like the powers that be understand and have occulted the information regarding the frequency and the vibration aspect of who we are as energetic beings having
Yeah,
this
and that's why I
experience.
said earlier is that's why every single truther, every pure truther that just wants the truth and just wants love on this earth, period. And you'll get the truth. It's there. You'll find it. Might take time for people, but that's why I'm telling you, every truther is going to be off grid soon. It's like it's kind of like the shift that we all feel of like we only want to talk to people that are like minded, right? That never happened before. That's really never happened before. Think of your old friends in school, like back in the day. Like everybody was different. Everybody, like thought different, weird, and that's okay. But now I'm talking about the shift of consciousness, the real shit that's we're experiencing. We don't want to be around even family or at least for I can only speak for myself, I guess, but anyone that's closed-minded, no critical thought, just official story of everything, and they're like, "Did you hear in the news today?" You don't want to like it's like you detach yourself away from that side of your life and you stay in your own realm and you want people in your own realm, and people have a lot of podcasts and shows and we all meet and that's consciousness, that's energy going, look, we need to be here, not there, not with them. Unfortunately, I know that someone taught you like that's your mom or dad and this and that, but I understand that it is biologically, but like you're you, okay? There's only you. I know that they helped create it, but you're still just you. You need to rely on yourself only and your own mind and thoughts. And we all need to be on the same frequency to change everything. So if someone doesn't want to join us, fuck them. I don't care. Like, fuck them. Whatever. I love you. Fuck them. Because if this was your only life, then I get it. Like, well, I love my sister. Like, I understand. I get that. I truly, as a human being, I get that. But there comes a certain point in time when you have to understand that you're special, like you're special, and if you have this knowledge, you can't let it go to waste. Your conscious is going to shift. You only want to be around people like you, and eventually you're going to be like, I can't live in a big city. And that's what's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. I'm telling you, the shift that's going to happen is organic right now. It's going to be two different types of lives. The life they want for everybody, which might happen, and the life they know a lot of people are not going to join. They know we're here. They just want us
Mm-hmm.
to go somewhere else. They want their
Mm-hmm.
big cities. They want their big control. They're in a
The
lot of debt. They're
line.
in a lot of debt. They want
Y-
they want, you know what I mean? So that's why it's like they're forcing the what's, but were they really? No. It's knowledge. If you have knowledge,
mhm.
then quit your fucking slave job. They gave you the choice. But some people go, no, I'll just take it. I like my job. I can't help you. I can't help you. That was your test and you failed. I'm sorry.
Exactly. No, man, you're just spitting. I'm like kind of mesmerized by you talking. It's kind of nice to have somebody else just kind of go off and me get sucked into them. But Stephen, Stephen has a question.
Yeah.
So Stephen, go ahead and unmute and ask your
All
question.
right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious. Now there's a video about Carl Sagan's explanation on how the ancient Greeks knew the Earth was round. I'm curious, what's your take on that? And I'll put it in the chat in case you haven't seen it, that way you can check it out. It's like 2 minutes, a 2 minute segment.
You
I'm just
said
curious.
you said someone said what now? Sorry, it was hard to hear.
Carl
You.
Sagan a while. There's a segment of Carl Sagan
Who is Carl Sagan to you?
Carl Sagan is an astronomer from like the 70s.
Who told you that?
Really, well, it's a video on YouTube, and
No,
I
I'm
was
saying
curious.
who told you that he was an official astronomer?
Well, but just from what the mainstream put out, I mean, that's
go
their
ahead.
narrative, of course,
Yeah,
obviously.
go
But I'm
ahead
curious
then.
what your take is on his explanation.
Explanation of?
The video I put in the chat. He basically has a segment about how he talks about how the Earth is, how the ancient Greeks knew the Earth was round and they could measure the shadows from the obelisks. Basically, it's a video that demonstrates that mathematically, but it's his explanation. So I was curious if you had seen that, and if you had, what was your take on that?
Well, let me ask you a question about that. How would you feel if I have Neil deGrasse Tyson on record, your modern day priest,
Right.
on record saying that the sticks and shadows test with the shadows can also be done on the flat Earth if the sun was small and local? Because
Okay, I have not heard that.
if you bring it, you could do this right. The difference
Okay.
between my science and the science that you're asking me about is I can tell you right now to go to your kitchen table and take 3 batteries, AA, AAA,
Okay.
doesn't fucking matter. Take 3 batteries, spread them out on your table, shut all the lights off in your house. Now take your phone flashlight and put it and bring that sun nice and local like it fucking is. Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
And
If
bring
it's-
that
yeah,
shit down to your table. You're
If
gonna
it's
have
local, if it's close enough, it would cause the same effect. Yeah.
exactly the
I
same.
think you're right
and
about
by,
that.
and
'cause
by
you
the
have
way,
to take-
they by the way, they create these experiments because they know the Earth is a stationary plane. So they create these experiments and they piggyback off of every test proves the Earth's stationary. But they're like, what can we come up with to match it? And they're like, we got a few that like it works on both. So they promote those. That's fine. Me and you can make up a model of the Earth as triangle,
Right.
and it spins this way, not this way, and it goes this fast and this fast. We can create all the math as
Right.
long as it comes to a point where it's like it matches what you're trying to teach everybody. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
the math is right, and it's like, yeah, I know, but you made all that
It's like
up.
it's
Fuck
like
the math.
how they're engineering this whole climate change narrative.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
If you're engineering the narrative from the beginning, of course you're gonna, I know that makes perfect sense from what you're saying.
And by the way, you can't have a climate change hoax without a globe.
Right. I know, but I mean, my point is, I think that everybody sees that whole narrative is bullshit, and it doesn't make any sense. At least as far as that goes.
Well, I go above that. I don't think the narrative was even real. I don't think Eratosthenes, any of these guys existed. Copernicus, there's no evidence of them besides a couple.
Well, we don't know other than what we have in the history books, and you're right. We don't have any way of verifying a lot of it because it's what we've been taught.
So why would they teach you the truth about that? Do you think that would benefit?
I'm not suggesting that they would.
Would that benefit a society that you want to control, or would that hurt you?
Right. Well, I am an advocate of people thinking for themselves and using discernment as well. So I'm right there with you. I don't believe anybody says. I want to know for myself. I want to see what I can find, what I can verify, and that's what I'm about too. I agree.
Yeah, but a paid actor, Carl Sagan, that recites something with no evidence of a story of a man.
You have financial incentive. You obviously have incentive not to be objective.
Again, though, it's a story from a guy that's telling stories. There's no. Did they prove any of that to you that day? Did they go out and take their cameras and prove to you these shadows? Well,
I was just curious because it made from their.
No. I'm asking you. But the point is that they say 100 years ago or whatever, however long it was, that they took sticks and shadows and went 500 miles away and stuff. So how did he call his friend 500 miles away 200 years ago, or like, hey man, you there? All right, let's test it out.
Well, according to the video, he said that they walked because it was two cities close to each other and they walked the distance. That's what they said.
So they walked 500 miles to prove this test.
Right.
A test that is also proven on a flat stationary plane.
I don't know if it was 500 miles.
No. I'm saying though, a test that's also proven on a flat stationary plane, which they also knew. So why would they go through? Why would they go through the motion? Why would they go through the motion of testing out? Pretend they did walk 500 miles. Why would they do that if that same thing can work on their enemy test? Like the flat Earth, it's the same test. It's the same results. So why would they go through all that struggle to prove something? Not only that, but why would they promote a globe with the continents and everything spinning in 1920 when Universal came out and started showing you movies? That's been out since 1920. Bro, we have not. Listen, hold on. They haven't even checked. They didn't check till 1969. Don't get it twisted. No one went up to space to see what Earth looks like until 1969 and the Apollo missions. So how in 1920 are they showing you the same fucking graphic then as they did now? They never changed the continents. They never moved. Oh yeah, we know what it looks like now. We're gonna move Africa here. It's the same thing because it's all fake. It's always been fake. And if there was a real version of Earth spinning right now, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. Because I wouldn't be a flat earther.
Well, no, I was just curious what your perspective on that was because I know that from what they were saying that makes sense, but then you pointed out the other angle that they could do the same with the batteries, which also makes sense because I've done that experiment before and it didn't even occur to me to think of it that way, but I did.
Look, man, there's 3 buckets. There's a bucket that it works on a flat Earth. There's a bucket that it works on a globe Earth, and it's a bucket that it works on both. Okay, the bucket of working on both there's countless. The bucket of flat Earth only, there's a lot of them. the bucket of it's only works. This can only be explained on a globe, a heliocentric model. There's zero. There's zero.
Right.
So there's a lot that they share, but there's zero where it's just only the globe could explain this. So when you have these stories of why there's sunsets, and you're taught that in first grade and second and third, and then it's over, right? They get everybody before they're 7 usually.
Right.
Because then that's who you are. That's
well, 5 to
literally
7
who you are.
is when you're most impressionable.
No, but that it's like a God-given switch in your brain. That's like, that's your personality. That's your wisdom and knowledge. You can
But most people don't realize it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be though. We learn every day. We can change. We have the ability to change our perspective at any time and ask questions. That's the whole point. Ask questions. That's what That's what the foundation of science is. Asking questions.
I dare the audience, anyone, to ask make sure they're innocent 2-3-year-old child. Make sure that they haven't been indoctrinated with all this bullshit yet. Just someone, there's just not a lot of space stuff in their family's house or something. But you take a child out that can converse with you, 2-3 years old, and you say, hey, what do you think? Do you think that sun and that moon are going around your head? Or do you think that the sun's not moving and we're flying backwards faster than the speed of sound? Like the kid.
Because they're not tainted yet. You're right.
Yet, but again, that's why, man. I've been to family in the crib. I mean, they're 1 day old, and there's the solar system. I'm like, well, the sun's not in the center.
Yeah.
What is going on? Like, right at the young age, they're like, oh, like it's terrible. So it goes back to, it's very hard to unindoctrinate somebody that's been indoctrinated and have never had a reason to unwind that. It's like the people that go, whether the earth's flat or a ball, I don't, I still got work tomorrow. It's like, well, yeah, that was the point of them doing this.
Yeah.
So the people like that are the worst to me. It's like, you know what?
Well, the people that just go along and don't question anything now, like I agree, the whole point is to ask questions. And we know that they lied about all of this stuff the last couple of years, definitely. So it makes you wonder, what else have they lied about? We don't know. That's the reality. We
everything.
Everything,
Stephen.
There you go. Start with
everything.
Well,
and that was my point. It makes me question everything that they've said previously. That was kind of like what I was getting at. Yeah, agreed.
Just look for evidence. That's all. Look for concrete and not news articles. Look for evidence.
No, stuff we can verify
let's
independently.
Go to the next question.
Thanks for the question, though.
Thank you, Stephen. That was it's a good question, and he's not coming across hostile. I know we get passionate. You know what I'm saying? When we're explaining things, so please don't get offended. That's just how he is. He's passionate about the subject.
No offense, but I cannot be offended.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I was saying at the start of this, but he definitely is just here to wake people from the fucking slumber here. But Sharon, you're next. So go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
No, I'm unmuted. Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed your 2 documentaries that you've done so far. Looking forward to the third one. I love some of the presenters you had in those 2 films. Santos Bonacci, I've been following for quite some time. Turned me on to some other aspects of helping me navigate to find truth, as well as David Weiss, or is it Wise?
Wise, yeah.
So you don't have to convince me. I'm definitely not on board with the heliocentric freaking narrative that we've been force fed.
Yeah, force fed, exactly. Yeah.
I remember when they first showed me the, planets and all this garbage. I was in elementary school and I was looking at it going, something like I couldn't, have words for it, but it didn't seem like I was being told the truth. And didn't think much of it because I was a kid, but now I see, they've been lying to us about everything. They're the ones who give us the books to read.
Yeah. It's literally a Rockefeller book. It's literally a Rockefeller book. They're not even hiding that. It's a Rockefeller funded book.
Exactly. So here's my question though. So how they portray the shapes and the sizes of the continents, I'm also questioning, is that also skewed? Does it really look like that? Because again, that's what they show us it looks like.
You know, it's again speculation. No one's out there charting anything, so speculation.
Sure.
But I think that I think they're so irrelevant. The maps are so irrelevant. It's nice to show the globe flight routes and stuff because none of them make sense. That they come back down to the south and then they go back up every single time. It seems like when they have a southern to southern flight, they have to go up to the and cross the equator to come back down. It's like, why would you do all that? And it's like you look on a flat Earth map and it's a straight line. So it's okay, that makes sense. But does that map make sense? I don't know. And I really don't try to show maps. I've shown a couple maps in the films with the more land and stuff, just to, again, for the vision, so people can get a vision of it. I mean, I always put right there in bold letters. This is, what do I put? Whatever it's called, where I'm saying this is just a, impression of it. It's
Disclaimer.
just yeah, it's just an idea. Like this isn't. I'm not saying this is what it is. It's an idea, a visual example, basically, and. That's it. But when it comes to map stuff, I feel like it's irrelevant, really. And I know that's a lazy answer, but I don't think the maps matter. I mean, when you compare so many ancient maps, which a lot of them had more land, and the North Pole had four land masses in the center of the Earth. They got rid of those quickly. But it's like they're all different. They're literally, like, it seems like they're all different. So I throw them all out at that point.
Right.
I understand, like, we have to navigate with a map. So yeah, maybe the flat Earth, like the Gleason's map or the map they always use in aircrafts and stuff like that, the flat Earth map that they use, I think that's accurate enough, maybe. But I don't know. I do feel like there are some land masses that are bigger in real life, and because you see so many size changes throughout the years, I don't trust any of it. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? It could be none of that exists until you're there. Remember, it's your world, so you create your reality. You create your reality. Obviously, it's like, how do you know North Korea is there? Have you been there? It's like, if you're there, then it becomes part of your reality. It's an upgrade in your video game, like you guys are talking about games and shit. I'm just trying to go along the lines of what you guys think, but it's like you're just up. You got to a new level of the game, and now you're in a new place. It's like that never existed before in reality. It was never a part of your world. So they try to say, hey, here's the land masses, and that's it. And again, I think maps are irrelevant, and I think it's been the Flat Earth's biggest mistake of always trying to promote it. I get it, especially like I said, with flight routes. I understand how you compare the two, and it's like a no-brainer. Yeah, show the Flat Earth map all day. That's showing you flight routes, and they make 1,000 times more sense now. But to have a perfect map, I don't think that's possible, because it's, again, we're taking someone else's word. So unless there was like a million flat earthers that wanted to get up in private choppers or something and start charting and drawing, I don't even know how's that even done? Or can drones do it? Like, I don't know. So no, but I would never believe the official narratives of maps or placements of there could be more land in where we live, like the oceans we live in now. I mean, there could be some secret lands, some secret islands, some secret spots that they have deleted off maps. You compare maps of the past and now, and you're like, what just happened? Like, what happened? What happened to all these land masses? Like, you can't just delete land masses. So I don't trust any of them. I don't think we need them to prove anything, really. So.
Right. Because I remember in school, they even showed us that the land masses were one big land mass that they called Pangea at one time.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks for your question, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. I have a question from Emma regarding the pyramids and what your take on how they got here would be. How you think.
Yeah, well, for me, I don't know. That's one rabbit hole. Not that it's necessarily a rabbit hole, but I've never went down that one too hard. But with my research of Tartaria and Tartaria and the ancient structures with giant doorways and giant stairs and giant gargoyles on top of skyscrapers, when I thought it was stupid horse and buggy civilization people. Then how the fuck did they build that? What they do, there's no explanation for it. How'd they build all these castles, and why'd you burn them all down? So the Chicago fire, they're burning down Tartaria's castles. They don't want they don't want anyone to know about it, these structures, or the people, or who just came before us. They don't want you to know that. So for me, it's like, as I kept trying to emphasize the word giant buildings, giant doorways, giant handles, giant designs, starting from a giant perspective, giants is what I think.
Yes.
So
that's what I think too. I know I always get some interesting conversation when I start talking about that stuff with people, but there's levels to this, you know, like you were saying, there's even in the truth seeker realm of consciousness, you know, there's like different levels to it. People get, and I always tell people, like, be careful going down too many rabbit holes, because then it fractures your consciousness. And I feel like you get kind of lost and you're like, okay, I don't know what it is anymore. And you just lose your power, you know? And I really think, like you were preaching, just go within and listen to yourself and figure it out for yourself, do it yourself. That's like the best advice you can give somebody who is actually seeking, because when you seek, you will find. It's not, if you seek, you'll find down this, because there's so many different psyops out there too. Like, you know, the alien thing, there's that whole ancient aliens. I think that keeps people's minds fractured and looking for an external savior. You know, you got the Galactic Federation out here looking at clouds saying there's ships coming to beam everybody up. There you go. That gives your power away to an external source right there. So
yeah, the aliens are not green, gray people with giant eyes and like that. No, yeah, that none of that's real. There are extraterrestrials though, for sure. But you just got to break down what those words mean and then get back to me, and then you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, I think that we are that. But at the same time, I wanted to, before you go, I know you're probably going to be dipping out
like,
here soon.
Maybe 15 minutes.
Okay. I want to talk about your documentary, Fluvid.
Sure.
Because
I'll be
you can't
careful,
post it. You can't post it. Yeah, you can't post it on your freaking YouTube, which would be cool. But it can be. It is on Rockfin, and we can download it. Which I did share the link to the fluvid19.com on my page. But
appreciate it.
Of course, absolutely. This is the stuff that people need to see. Sorry, but this is the stuff that people need to see, right? Are you? You know, how did you come? How did that play out for you? Are you going to do more with that realm? Are you getting away from just like, because
yeah,
because you're no.
Yeah, I'm known for flat Earth documentaries. I'm gonna make many topics. I can't do flat Earth forever. I mean, there's only so many things I make these. I'll probably make one or two more. I know many times on air even I said I'm gonna make them till everybody knows it's flat. But I do feel like that's coming without that promise. It's just the point of, look, I make my staples. I made my staples. They will go down in history, and I have to wake other people up to other things now. But, you know, flat Earth is always going to be there, and it's always going to be that crave for it to do something new. But Fluvid, you know, I mean, I'm friends with Eddie Bravo, and, you know, talking to him and kind of, I told him originally, I just want to put something together for the information side of things, and, you know, make it an hour, call it a documentary, market it, get people involved. Like Jim Brewer is a big help with allowing me to put him in there. And, you know, my goal with the sequel of Fluvid, because I am going to make a sequel, is to pretty much everyone you saw in the first one, whether that be, you know, Dr. Michael Yeadon or Dr. Sean Brooks or Eddie Bravo or Joe Bauman. There's many people in the film. You know, I want to go, besides Joe Bauman, MMA fighter, King Bao. I actually flew to see him to film that last end scene. That's how badly I wanted him in it, and I wanted an end scene with him. Because I put all my chips in his basket. I don't do that with many people in the world, but he's a whole nother type of person. He's my brother. But so the sequel, I want to go to these, like Dr. Sean Brooks, one of my favorite whistleblowers, and he emailed me after Fluvid came out. He goes, "Dude, I loved it." Blah, blah. I go, "Dude, would you be cool with like me coming for the sequel to come visit you, and then set up my equipment and get a real documentary going the way the Next Level was compared to Level?" See, Level was like just me grabbing shit and putting it all together the way I've always done videos. And I'm like, I want to make a documentary though. So Next Level was like, I'm flying everywhere. I'm sitting down. I got my crew. It's like, you know, it's like people helping, and we're going to shoot this. We're going to go outside. We're going to shoot this. So I'm full directing, full editing, full everything. And I love that. It's a lot of work. And my neck does hurt all the time. And I got to go to the Cairo all the time for this shit. But yeah, sit in a chair for many, many hours. And I don't have assistants. Like, it's just me. Everything's me. So, but the Fluvid sequel is going to be epic because, you know, it's going to be in the flesh. So everyone in the film, and I'm pretty sure Jim will do it too, because I'm going to be helping Jim Brewer out with this a passion project he wants to do soon. So I'm just like, hey man, while I have you, can we get some scenes for my sequel from you? And I'm sure they'll all want to do it. I already got a lot of okays, so I know it's going to happen. And yeah, it's just going to be a sequel, and we're going to touch on other topics. I didn't even talk about lockdowns in this one. I felt like it was just, I gotta do it this way now. I could go back later and how it all started or something in the sequel or whatever I want to do. But that eventually is going to be worked on. I'm going to make a documentary in the near future about the CPS and what they're doing to our children and how to get your kids back with hidden laws.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
There's a lot of hidden laws regarding that. So, and I'm working with Joe Bauman on that, and great guys that know the laws. And that's going to be a good documentary. That's coming soon. I'm almost done with my George Floyd project with Miriam Heinen. Miriam Heinen is a journalist that got canceled a while back. She had Vanishing of the Bees documentary that got taken off Netflix. So she called me up because I made a George Floyd documentary on Rockfin called Psychological Operation. I'm showing you that it was nothing but a Freemasonic false flag from every angle.
Ritual. Yeah.
And everybody, they're all acting. They're none of them. That's not a real police. That's not, I mean, it's just all fake. And it started what they started. It's what they wanted to do. That's why they did that. That's why they created it. But she comes from a different aspect of it. She comes from like the factual timeline. Why did he show up with him? The news said they bumped into each other at the store. So she's a real journalist putting this shit together. And I'm like, let me help. I'll help. And so that's coming out January 15th on Rockfin. It's the real time George Floyd, the real timeline. So that's going to be like an hour and a half film. We're almost done. I'm putting the finishing touches on now. That's going to be epic because I need the Black community to wake up to deceptions, and I feel like there's no other topic that I can expose to help them understand that they've been lied to. I have a lot of African American friends, and some of them family, like I always call family, and it's like, you don't get it. You don't get what's happening with where we live or this or that or 9/11. It's hard. I'm like, you gotta hit something personal. I'm like, let's hit something personal now, because if they know that the BLM movement is a hoax and the George Floyd thing's a complete psychological operation paid for, most of it was funded by Soros. If they know that, which is what I hope these films will bring to them. Now we got them. We got them in our corner, and these are the greatest and strongest people on our plane, in my opinion, and I love them, and they need to be aware of what's happening. I don't know how else to do it, and I'm like, we're touching a real sensitive George Floyd, like say that in certain cities. I mean, you gotta watch what you say with that. I don't care if facts are facts, and that's why we're calling it the timeline, the real timeline, because we're not speculating. We're showing you everything that happened, and from all cameras. Miriam went to Minnesota to get footage that nobody has. Okay, so I'm gonna say that's all I can say. But it's the point of like break this curse. Like, you're being lied to on every level, and we're gonna show this. And then I want to make a documentary after that's over on grounding and earthing.
Yes,
it's the most underrated thing in the world. And like, I'm a truther, and I'm like, yeah. How often do you ground? They're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, no, you're not a truther, man. Like, if you know the truth, then you would at least take 10 fucking minutes a day, go outside, put your bare feet in the soil, because you're a battery and you're dead. You're dying every day. And you're like, oh, well, I know the earth's flat. I'm like, yeah, but you have to get back to nature and start ground. Like, you've been through a lot of trauma the last 30 years, not knowing this stuff for 40 years, 50 years, and you don't know it. Like, let's heal your body now. Let's get back with nature. And it's the most, it's free to ground, and it will change your life. So I wouldn't even be able to edit with my issues and pain without grounding. I'm grounding right now. My bare feet are on a grounding pad. You can ground on your bed. You can ground outside. You can do whatever you want. But as chiropractors have told me, if you weren't doing this, you wouldn't be able to even sit in a chair. Period. I'm like, yeah, I know. I have to maintain the pain. Eventually, when I take, maybe if I ever can take 2-3 months off, I don't even think I'll sit in this computer chair ever again. And I think that's what's really needs to happen for me to really heal is that big break. And I'm, unfortunately I have bills, so I can't, being an independent small business, Hibbeler Productions LLC. Oh yeah. It's not what you would think. Like, you have your own business. Yeah. It's not like that. It's just, I rely on the people. I rely on you, everyone, every human being that wants to wake up and support,
Yeah.
Cancel your Spotify, cancel your Netflix, cancel your Prime, cancel these things, cancel Hollywood, period. And I get pissed off when people are like, dude, I got to pay $5 to rent your film. I'm like, yeah, I know. Most people thought it should be 15. But yeah, it's 5. And they're like, oh, well, I mean, it should be free. I mean, like, yeah, I know everything should be free. I'm like, but what did you do for work today? Well, yeah, I work at the mall and this. Oh, yeah, cool. I'm like, can you do that the next 9 months and then not get paid? Would you show up? They're like, well, no. I'm like, okay. So I showed up for the last 9 months and now I'm putting out my work. That's all I've been doing for 9 months, 10 months even. Trust me, if my bills were just paid for, just like they didn't exist or something, then yeah, why would I charge even $1 for anything I do? But this is my career. This is not like, once in a while I make something. Like, no, that's all I do, and I'm paying for it. That's getting this trying to be fixed every other day. It seems like now it's like you think that's free. So I just keep grinding, and I know the universe, the creator has my back. Just keep doing it, and I rely on good people that really are on my team. I couldn't be here without you. There's no way without the people I would be here. And it makes me humble to know that like it's the people like that are keeping me fed and keeping me able to get help if I need it, and to upgrade one piece of equipment once in a while to make something better for everybody. And like, they're just there for me. Like, here you go, man. Here you go. Yeah, we'll subscribe to your rock fan. Yeah, we'll go to your website and we'll rent some films and share them with our family. Because like, who does that? Like, imagine a Hollywood film, like download now for $5 and just share it and copyright free. It's like, no, that's what I do. Like, you could download it because you're supporting me, whether it's $2, $5, whatever you support, you get something in return. It's not just a donation. And be like, hey, where do I donate? I go, don't do that. Don't donate. Go to my website, find a couple films you're interested in. One, most of them are $2. And that's how I live. Like, because when I started the donation website, I hated it. It was like weird, like PayPal, like, pick 10, 20, 50, or 100. And I'm like, why do I have to? I don't want to force people to do that. And then what do they get out of that? What do they get? Maybe, yeah, we like to help. And I love you for that. But like, what are you actually getting for that? Nothing. I like exchanging energy. So if pressing a button on your phone is you giving digits off of your balance, that's a form of exchange of energy. I want you to get something back that's even better than that shit. You like went like this. I want to give you something in return that's better than that, more valuable than that. So that's why it's like, don't donate. Just go rent a film or download a film. Then you own it forever, and you can do whatever you want with it. I don't care if you put it on downtown New York on a projector. I mean, you own it now. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm not gonna be like, hey, take that down. That's mine. No.
They'll take it down. Just trust. They'll do it for us. They'll take it down for us. We don't have to worry about taking.
But we don't have
to worry about you taking it down.
I can't put Fluven on my channel. I put the trailer. They gave me 2 strikes. I can't put Fluven on my channel, period, or I'm gone forever on YouTube. But I have seen like, I'm not going to call it, just their channel's small, right? So that's all I'll say. Their channel's very small, 1,000 subscribers or something, but it's on there. And I'll tell you, you really can't afford a couple bucks to help support. It's cool. There's a couple on there, it's fine. I mean, the point is to wake people up, but the truth is always free, period. The truth will always be free. Even the next level. Think about the next level. The next level. I released it on Rockfin and my website in full high def, everything when it came out. And I waited a couple weeks. I worked. That's the hardest I ever worked on a project. And then I'm like, you know what? I'll make a standard definition version for free on YouTube. And it blew up. So I was like, cool. I was like, at least I could pay my bills that month. And now everybody's sharing it for free. That's always my goal. It's always about how can I give it back? How can this be free? It's hard with COVID stuff because of YouTube. I can't make it free. You can. I can't. Are you kidding? I can't upload it.
Well, right, because you're the guy. Yeah. When you're the guy, when you're the face, they come for you. You that's just how it is. But I have
ain't nobody gonna get me.
The comments here. Right. I have a couple people in the comments here that said, they downloaded it, really enjoyed it. Adam even says that he downloaded it and it went on his Facebook feed and they haven't taken it yet. So
thank you. Hey, that's what I love to hear. That's why I do what I do. And you get my point though. That's why I give the option of not only owning it and downloading it, but the option to, you're going to donate to me. You're getting the full film in high def. Like that's your little donation to me. Like I like him. I want to support him. you get something in return, though. You owe that to yourself for even thinking of helping someone like me. You're gonna get something in return. It's gonna be whichever film you want, you know, and that's why I set it up that way. So it looks like it's like, yeah, I'm getting a lot of donations, but it's like it's one of those things where I can't explain it. It doesn't feel like a donation. It feels like they're renting a film, but I don't want it to feel like that anymore. You know, like it really is just like, hey, you support me, and you can do whatever you want with this project and put it anywhere you want. And that's kind of like my exchange, a barter system. I try to call it in my head. You're helping me, so I can eat food today. That's kind of important. Yeah, I got to make another film, right? I have to eat, but I love everyone that's helped. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, you know, yeah, in my opinion, I wish it was a little bit, you know, I can get out there a little bit more. I think it would help. It would help financially, but that's not, you know, I don't wake up every day like, how can I get more people's money? No, I wake up every day going, how can I reach more people? How can I reach bigger audiences? How can I reach different audiences?
How can you get the message out there past the fucking Orwellian dystopian
correct. Because think about
Mm-hmm.
it. Think about it, Melody. Like, think about someone waking up to Fluvid and they're like, who made this? This was great. They don't know who I am. They're not the type of person that rented it that's like, oh, you truthers, why are you charging stuff? No, they're like, oh, a new film's out. Like, everyone's done their whole life, okay? And they go rent it and they're like, that was, oh my God, who made that? And they go see the level, next level, and now they're flat earther. It's a perfect, that's why I try to do all types of categories, and then market it hard down their audience's throat. Like, you BLM, all the pro BLM, you're going to get hit very hard with the next one coming. And so it might get ugly, but you're going to get hit hard with the truth. Now is the time. So, you know, all the support of everyone, even people that don't even, I met people I was at Eddie Bravo and Sam Tripoli's show last night in Huntington Beach. They had like a conspiracy show. They always do it, and they asked if I, you know, come along and chill and stuff. And it was brilliant.
It, right?
Huh?
I said, don't you produce that or something for Eddie?
No. I produce Eddie's actual podcast on Rockfin. This was like a live event, right? They do a lot of stand-up comedy, but this was like, they did some stand-up with some other people. Then they had their own personal show where they're just on stage talking to the audience and going back and forth. It was really fun last night. And Eddie's, I've been to 100 things Eddie and especially Eddie and Sam have done. That was the first time Eddie gave me a shout out when he got on stage. And I didn't know what to expect, because again, that's not my thing. I don't like, I'm just me. I just do but like, it was nuts. I felt so humble. I almost wanted to cry. Seriously. It was like an eruption. Cause he goes, any flat earthers here? They're like, yeah, you know, I'd say 70% of the crowd. It was a nice size crowd. Yeah. And he goes, King of Flat Earth, sitting right there, fucking Hibbeler, guys. And it just like got lit. It was like the energy and the sound. And I've never felt that. And that feeling right there is what makes me do this shit every day. That's the feeling. And I've never craved it before, and I still don't crave that feeling. But experiencing it just once goes, I can change the world like that easy. Because it's crazy too, because everyone saw me. I was floating around all day, in and out before it started. Maybe one or two people like, you look familiar, but as soon as the name was said, it was like, oh shit. And that's my favorite part about all this, is like, I'm not really trying to get my face out there all the time where I'm bothered and stuff. I'm just the man behind the films, you know. And the only reason I came forward was actually Matt ODD TV. He really helped me mentally, talk me into, you know, having a connection with an audience, and they need a human being for that. They can't just see like your great film. They don't know who the fuck you are. And I'm like, why would someone need to hear the editor speak? Like, I'm thinking from a film perspective. Like, I've never watched a movie. Have you ever watched a movie and you're like, man, who edited that? Like, who produced that? I wanted to hear him. Like, so I never thought, why is that necessary? There was no fear involved. Like, who wants to see me? Like, what they could see my setup. Like, oh, that's what you use? Like, but me? So I was like, okay, I started doing stuff, going on shows and stuff, and you know, the feedback's been great, and I'm gonna keep that going. I'm gonna go all in now. I'm gonna have my own show on Rockfin and have great guests, and you know, keep building my brand of truth, because you know, they got us all with their Hollywood shit. They got all of us. We were all in the Matrix for a very long time. But when you study how they did it, imagine trying to reincorporate that structure of how they got us all. But I'm trying to do it like, I'm gonna try to do the same structure of like a trailer. People are like, dude, your trailers are so good. It's like Hollywood did it. And I'm like, exactly. but it's the truth. I'm like, it's time to entertain with truth. You can do that. And I've tried to do that since 2016. I hope I have for everybody. So
I think you've done great. Ever since you kind of came on, like I said, Matt, I know Matt personally. And then when I started seeing you doing stuff with him, I'm like, who's this guy? And then for the Oddcast, you did like, I think a trailer, you put together a video for us, and he's like, the homie Sean did this for us. And I was like, oh my God, he did so good. I think it's still on my TikTok, even though the Oddcast is a faded memory. But I was like, yeah, this guy's good. So then I started really watching all your stuff, and I'm like, whoa, I was like, this guy's definitely doing something, because the quality of work really, for me, I didn't ever want to do this, honestly. I really never thought that I was even going to be speaking publicly in this kind of a fashion. But there was just so much knowledge. I'd been like, you woke up by the 9/11. I think there's just so many of us that could not be programmed. And then when 9/11 hit, it was like, it separated us. It was like the people who were going to be woke are going to be woke. And I went down this extremely tumultuous, like, awakening for a decade, and was like, oh my God, and everything was crazy. But back then YouTube was like so fire. You could go and actually get information, and I still have all of that retained in me. And so when all of the Orwellian 2020 stuff started taking place, I'm like, all right, I just better just go live and start telling my friends on my personal page what I know is happening. And then everybody just started sharing this shit.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, I don't want this on my personal page. I'm going to separate my personal page and do a blog page. And so then people just started being attracted, because I think the vibe you put out attracts the people who are ready or registering, like you and I, we're like on this frequency, all these people were on this frequency, and then we find each other that way.
Yep.
And so we're growing, and I see us all growing, and I'm like, yes, keep going. And there's different levels. So there's like people who are just coming in, and flat earth is like this mind-blowing spiritual thing. It's like, oh my gosh,
flat earth is
I can't believe
top
this.
level.
Yeah. It's like, I can't believe this.
Not everybody can just be like, okay, let me get to the top level. And I mean, it's hard, but it's easier. It's easier if they don't believe in the moon landing, because a lot of people they didn't believe it when it happened. So if you can get some of those older people that they're like, nah, we didn't land no moon. The problem is they think it was some sort of Russia conspiracy, and you just got to get them out of that. That's all it is. There's always a backup conspiracy. The backup conspiracy with 9/11 was, Bush knew. It's like, I don't even tell people that. That's how irrelevant that statement. Of course he knew, but that's the most irrelevant statement to even bring up in what happened on 9/11. But the official narrative, of course, is box cutters, and then they always have a backup conspiracy. Oh, like the backup conspiracy with flat Earth is a pancake in space, and then the boats are falling off.
Flat Earth Society,
yeah, they always show that shit. I mean, you can Google flat Earth right now, pictures of the flat Earth. Your government made that for you. Where's Eric Dubé? Where's David Weiss? Where's ODD TV? Where's Santos Bonacci? Where are the legends of the flat Earth? Where are their pictures? Why don't their pictures come up? Why don't their videos come up? Why is it just a bunch of CNN government handed, floating discs in space? And think about that. Why are they showing you stuff that none of us have ever claimed? Because they want you to go, oh, that's what they believe in. Oh my God, these idiots. And they get a lot of people that way, and that's why they do it, because it works. That's no other reason. It's because it works.
Right. But we get a lot of people too, and you're doing a great job. And I'm so grateful for you just being brave enough to do your mission, activating yourself to your star potential, my dude. So I think it's a great thing that you agreed to just hang out with us tonight. I personally enjoyed the conversation. I know a lot of people have been digging your vibe from reading the chats and stuff, or the chat.
I could take one more question if there is one.
Okay. Anybody have any more questions here for Sean? Emma says it was amazing. Somebody was hoping that they could use some of the footage in their podcast. I'm sure that's okay with you.
Of me? It's your show. It's up to you.
Well, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
I didn't talk about
top secret.
I didn't talk about World War II, so I'm safe. Go ahead and share it.
We're not doing anything top secret, so yeah, that'll be fine. but I'm really excited to see what else you got putting out here. I would love to see, what I would love to see. And this is because I personally, I'm a spiritual person. I'm really connected in with energies and different kind of metaphysical stuff with my own personal power. And I would love to see somebody like you coming out with, the coupling of how it all goes together. I always want to do this, but I suck at fucking tech, Sean. I suck so hard. Like, I have a whiteboard and I try and draw things because I'm that basic. I'm like, please look. And I try to explain
That's not
it.
basic. That's not basic. That could still be used as a form of artistry. Everybody
But
has different forms of artistry. Not everybody's jack of all trades in that sense. So
right. And that's where I know we all have our gifts, right? So I would love to see somebody tie it together, because waking up to conspiracies is really the starting point of the spiritual awakening. When you wake up to the fact that everything's a fucking lie, that's when you can say, okay, everything's a fucking lie. Who the fuck am I? And that's when the conscious expanding comes in. Like, I love that you're going to be doing this on grounding. There's so much there. People need to realize we are energetic beings. We are all connected to everything that is organic. They're trying to disconnect us with all of this tech. And my heart is with you in regards to all of us who are truly online. We want to pull away from this whole shit show and go back to the basics, which is getting off the grid, getting away from their disruption, because they've polluted the frequency. I feel like they've put a man-made grid over the natural grid, right? So I feel like all of their tech kind of like sucks all of our battery power out and builds for them. And I think getting back to nature is truly what's going to be,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna
that.
happen no matter what. So you can't stop it. Because people like us will not allow ourselves to live in an environment like we have been. We've accepted it for now. But it's not going to last long in our world. It won't. This shit, these 5G chemtrails, all this stuff, everything they're doing to us, the water, fluoride, that's not going to exist soon. That's not going to exist in your world soon. So you can worry about it for a little bit and do what you can to avoid everything, but this is not going to be a part of our world much longer. So just get ready for heaven on earth for once, for sure.
Ooh, I got chills when you said it. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm holding out for. Enough of us can get that manifesting, right?
It's coming.
I feel it too. I do. I feel it is. I feel it is. So we just got to hold the line and keep doing what we do, being balanced. Yeah. Being balanced, I think, is one of the main things. And people don't know that they're spiritual beings. They're taught that they're just some insignificant little sinner a lot of time, and that you're nothing. You live on this ball, you're going through space, and that's part of the whole ball deception. Is just you're nothing, you're just insignificant. But when people realize, oh shit, I actually am something and I have power that is like really cool, then it's like game over. And so until then, just got to hold the line and just keep our own energy balanced and keep on our own course.
For sure. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm super happy that I got to talk with you, and that
thanks for everyone that has joined this and is watching or listening or had questions. And if you want to watch any of my work, I have everything I've done's on Rockfin. So if you're a subscriber of Rockfin, just watch it. It's just all available. If you're not a subscriber of Rockfin, most of my stuff's free, so you can still go watch it. If you want to support, cancel your Spotify or one of your apps that supports the bad people, and pay $10 a month for Rockfin. You can get to watch Eddie Bravo's amazing podcast. There's so many shows on there and different videos and films. It's all truth-based. It's time we support each other for once, I think, and this is a way to do it, in my opinion, for now. And if you don't want to do any of that type of stuff, my website, hibbelerproductions.com, HIBBELER.com. All my work's on there. They can't ban my site. So everything's on there. Share it, download something. That's your donation to download a film, share it with everyone. And that's the point. So I appreciate anyone that has already done that or will do that in the near future. it allows me to eat and continue to wake this world up and shed light on the darkness for sure. So
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. And I love you because you're out here doing what you're supposed to do. And I can appreciate when people are out here standing in their power. It's like, I recognize the I am in you and I support it 100%. And I know so many of us out here, we support each other because there's importance. It's like if the people who are awake don't support the other people who are out there trying to get the message out, because some people just, it's not for them. They don't want their face out there. They don't want to be publicly known as that crazy person. They want to work from the shadows. But if they're at least putting their energy towards that, then we create the wave, you know, and then we continue to push forward and just take over everything that they don't want us to take over.
That, and just know I can't do it without the support. I can't. I mean, it's just, it's a fact. I can't. So, you know, thank everyone. I just thank everyone for any time they supported me in any sense, whether that has to do with money or not. It's not about money, it's support. So however anyone could support me, that's all I care about, because you're enabling me to continue. And you know, we can win this war. I think we already are, but you know, only time will tell. But I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop. So, and they can't stop me because I'm a sovereign individual that doesn't need anyone. So, good luck. Good luck trying to stop someone like me. We all know the only way they could, and even then, I got people, I don't want to say who, in my corner, that they'll make sure that doesn't go unnoticed. So if they want to shed more light on stuff like that, I think that's why they leave a lot of truthers alone. They know what.
And don't suicide them all.
Or for me, they don't suicide any. And people are like, no, that one lady, she was in that Vax documentary. Yeah, she worked for Big Pharma. That's a contract. Well, what about that one guy he was a Mason? Oh, well, what does that have? Well, listen, the whistleblowers are going to get taken out more than likely. Okay. That could be anyone from Chester, from Lincoln Park. That's a record label. You're in a contract. You're in a contract. And in that contract, you probably didn't read it, but you can't be talking about stuff like that. You can't be going against Hillary Clinton and trafficking. You can't, there's things you can and can't do when you're in a contract or an oath with people. Well, I'm not, and we're all not. So that's why we can do anything we want, and they can't harm us. They know they can't harm us. They can't.
Because we didn't consent.
It's against the universe's laws. They know they cannot harm you, period, for talking the truth. That goes against everything they believe in, and they believe in a lot of dark and evil stuff. It still goes with that. They can't harm you. So be fearless in this. And people are like, oh, I don't want to show my face. I don't want to share it. I don't want to do it. Really? Really? What's going to happen? Someone's going to pull up, be like, hey, saw you shared that video, and pop off. Like, what? No. And when people think that way, it slows this down. Stop having fear. These are a bunch of nerds that run the world. They're scared. They're shitting their pants right now, and they don't know what's going on, what's going to happen. But we can't stop while we wait for them to, what are they going to do next? Fuck them. What am I going to do next? I don't care about them anymore. They're worthless. They don't rule over anyone I know anymore. So who are they? Who is that? And a bunch of actors on TV. They're hilarious. It's hilarious characters. They have nothing to do with you or your future. So just know that, and then you could prosper. But all right, everyone, thank you for having me on. I got to run. I'm starving.
All right, Sean. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Ooh.